Ladies and gentlemen, Palantir is starting to get a little bit more attention on the interwebs. Now, we are at a state in terms of the Palantir community and the content surrounding this company where I truly believe it's at its infancy. It may seem like there's a lot of coverage, but if you're in the Palantir world, if you're a shareholder, yeah, there's a lot of coverage because you follow those people, they're in your world. But to the broader market, like, it's definitely not a company that is well known, a stock that is well known. It's just one of those things that is out there. And the goal of building a community, the goal of creating content, the goal of getting people to care about the company and cover the company is, can that get more mainstream? Because when that becomes more mainstream, not only does it help with the marketing and branding of the company, but it helps with potential investors wanting to know what Palantir does and waking up to the potential of the company. Well, 2 days ago, we got some pretty awesome news because Elon Musk officially acknowledged Palantir. How did he acknowledge Palantir? So this is an account called 8API. I believe they're in the technology space. They said Palantir demoed a battlefield assistant calling in drones and quarterbacking a battle in Eastern Europe, and then they do a thread on it. This thread got 1.5 million views, almost 500 retweets, 295 quotes, 2,000 likes, and 1,400 bookmarks. A bookmark is when you save something because you want to see it later. So people obviously thought this content was interesting enough to come back to. Now, this triggered a wave of people talking about the AIP for Defense, which was unveiled. AIP was unveiled about 4 weeks ago. AIP for Defense, the video that I did a video review on, came out about 2-3 days ago, where Palantir is showing how they can operationalize their ChatGPT type of clone within the war, the military, within the army, right, within wartime mission critical situations. Specifically, right, you can imagine this is being used in Ukraine and Russia right now. And what is under the hood that allows it to happen, but also how easy of an interface it is to interact with to actually be able to do things. So the thread starts off by saying it's a chatbot, but with federated data retrieval based on intelligence classification access rules. This is like sort of the magic of Palantir. Very few companies are able to do that. That's why Palantir has IL6 security clearance, etc. Notifications come into the chatbot. This is a bot prompting a human. First time I've ever seen in any demo. Reminds me of Command and Conquer alert on anomalous military activity detected. Dynamic content UI, maps, graphic, form field, chatbot generates whatever it needs in the chat window. Show me more. All of this is using geospatial intelligence to be able to come to a conclusion, connecting with the large language models trained on the data that you feed into the models that Palantir uses, while all under the hood being a federated data platform that has the access controls to make sure that the data is protected and classified. It is top-level secured data protection at scale being operationalized with an interface that's as easy as show me where the tanks are. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. You can order a surveillance drone inside of the chat. You can see a drone response in real time inside of your chat window. You can generate attack option recommendations. We saw this all in the video. You can send attack approval from your chain of command, and you can have a battlefield route planning inside of the chat, weapons inventory analysis inside of the chat, individual target assignment inside of the AIP terminal. Amazing stuff. Palantir really providing value to the DoD. Then he goes into the model they're using, etc. The final thing they say is the best integrated AI I've seen 2 years ahead. And this is where, as a Palantir shareholder, you're excited that people inside of the tech space are acknowledging this because, AI for like advertising and AI for content discovery, it's really cool and it's dope and it's awesome. But like integrated use cases of AI at the level of drug discovery, at the level of mission critical situations on the battlefield to protect a country from losing its sovereignty, that's why you're investing in Palantir. And for everyone saying, well, what's the catalyst for Palantir? Where's their Cybertruck? Blah, blah, blah. AI is the catalyst. And the exponentiality of AI growing and Palantir being able to play this type of a role inside of AI is to me fundamentally differentiated from every other company in the market. I don't see Snowflake data. I don't see any of these companies doing what Palantir is doing in the context of AI. And this is why I invested in them 2 years ago, because I was like, I think their software is going to be used everywhere in the world. I didn't know exactly how it would happen, but this is the hunch I have. Will I be right? I don't know yet, but this is the reason I wanted to invest. This is the belief you had in the company that they would figure this stuff out. And then Elon replies, oh, great. Now, here's the thing. Elon responding is definitely why this tweet got a lot more views. His oh great, I think, can either be interpreted as, oh great, more AI now used on the battlefield. Shit's gonna hit the fan. It's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of like a sarcastic, oh great, we got another use of AI on the battlefield after I just said to stop using AI. Or it's more like a, oh, great. If I had to guess, I think it might be the first version where he's a little upset about this, but not upset in the context of he thinks it's a bad product. I think he's upset that AI is moving so quickly and that he literally signed a letter to pause AI for like 6 months or whatever in order for us to regulate it, that he's like, oh, well, now we have AI on the battlefield. Look what's going to happen. I think in general, Karp has responded to this, right? Karp's entire argument at the end of the day was he would be in favor of AI regulations and stopping the progression of AI, but the problem is our adversaries, Russia and China, are not stopping their progression of AI, and they have a lot of smart people in those countries that are trying to get the job done at a broader scale. If you believe the world is going to get more deglobalized, less secure, then software is going to be the differentiator for the values that you want to win. And in the United States, if we want those values to win, then we need to make sure we're at the forefront of that. And it seems like Palantir has created a product that will be able to guarantee that Western countries are at the forefront, not to mention the crap load of money that they might be able to make as a result of that. Now, I want to take this to a CodeStrap tweet as well. CodeStrap put out a thread the day this stuff started happening where Palantir started kind of going viral on Twitter. Before I show this CodeStrap thing, you got a bunch of people. If you just type in Palantir AIP on Twitter, you got this account talking about AIP. You got this people talking about this. You got this other person, Palantir AIP, did an LLM Battlefield Assistant demo yesterday. Video is here. Someone already did a thread. So you got a bunch of people, if you just search it up, outside of the usual, Palantir folks talking about it, that are making threads on it. That's literally, they're linking this stuff, like this guy, Peter Henderson. I've never seen this guy talk about Palantir in the community. I know a decent amount of people because I'm on Twitter, all the time talking about Palantir. And this guy, what does he do? He's a PhD in computer science and AI at Stanford, building law and policy informed ML systems and ML informed policy law. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Palantir is building machine learning AI applications that are rooted in regulatory frameworks, right? Which is kind of their core differentiation from a lot of these other AI products. And this guy seems very interested. It would make sense why Peter Henderson, given his biography, that we see on Twitter, is interested in Palantir AIP Defense for Military. This is one of those products that is kind of like a holy shit, this could go viral product, which could result not only in a lot of sales and business, but a lot of brand recognition, which is the biggest thing I believe Palantir is struggling with at this current stage of their company. CodeStrap says, we are at an incredible moment in history. In 2021, I made the prediction that human-centric software was dead. It just didn't know it yet. He was correct about this. Human-centric software is dead. There is a new paradigm. That doesn't mean coders are necessarily replaced. That just means the paradigm by which people interact with software is different. Like today, we were adding this feature to my startup that is about like something to make the scroll a little bit more fluid, so it's not as rigid. And one of my devs that I was working with, he's like, I'm not really exactly sure how to do this. And we just asked ChatGPT, and boom, we got the answer, right? We got the code. And so it's incredible how we're interacting with software now at scale. As OpenAI is facing mounting legal challenges, they got banned in Italy because we don't know whose content is who. Advertisement agencies, the people that make all this creative content for brands and businesses, they're not allowed to use ChatGPT because if there is some type of callback on the copyright based on the creative, the ad agency is on the hook for that, and they don't want to be on the hook for that, right? So there's a lot of legal issues that go into actually being able to allow OpenAI to scale as much as they can. Now with GDPR, this is the regulations in Europe, it's clear Palantir has the right framework to legally leverage AI to its fullest. This is not a joke. You see what's going on with crypto in the United States? Brian Armstrong's company is on the brink of getting banned because if it's not legal, the government's not going to allow this shit. And so you need to have a legal, ethical approach to leveraging AI at scale in order for this to work. Alex Karp has often said we build products companies don't know they need. He has been proven prophetic on many occasions. Just watch his December 2021 interview with Kevin Warsh from Stanford, where he says the world is getting to the point where there could be a war. 3 months later, less than 3 months, early February, boom, there is a war, right? Actually, he said this on he didn't say this December. He said it was January 25th-ish, 2022. A couple weeks later, the Ukraine-Russia thing breaks out. And so you have to imagine they know some stuff, and they're making their product decisions and tech decisions based on the things that they know, based on the way the world is going. And this is no exception. I am personally witnessing the sea change at the world's largest organizations in person. It's profound. CodeStrap, for those that don't know, now works at PwC. He is deploying Foundry and helping businesses strategize how they will implement Foundry inside of their own organizations. So he has a firsthand look into seeing how this is happening right now. The fact that Palantir is so misunderstood by the market and technologists represents the opportunity of a lifetime. And I am proud I seized that opportunity. It's proving to be perhaps the best decision I ever made. It's interesting stuff, man. And, just because CodeStrap works with the software does not mean that he's not critical of it. I've personally spoken to him on the phone, and he's told me some things that he's very critical about in terms of Palantir's company, right? These are things where he's like, look, they got to fix this shit or they're going to get their ass handed to him. But the core tech, the paradigmatic approach that they have towards technology and their ability to get brand recognition based on the product theoretically selling itself, right? Like obviously they have to sell this, but the nature of how it goes viral on Twitter kind of reminds you of like, oh, if you just make really cool stuff, people will notice, especially in this age of AI, because AI is what everyone cares about in today's day and age. You make something where there's a real use case for it. It's not just another one of these apps leveraging the API from GPT. There's a real significant momentum and people are going to care and people are going to notice. So super excited for this. Palantir Weekly tonight. We've got a lot to discuss. Hope to see you there tonight, Friday, April 28th, 2023. If you can't, you can catch the replay. Thanks so much for listening and watching and being here. A lot to discuss. I'll see you tonight.